Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today I'm checking out a product from Ramen Bae that they stealth released in between their veggie mix and their spicy garlic mix. This is Ramen Bae's dried Japanese fish cake. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these reviews. So yeah, sometime before the spicy garlic mix came out, Ramen Bae sneakily released this bag of nothing but fish cakes. And let's not focus on my disappointment in the spicy garlic mix, and instead we'll talk about why this is a brilliant product. I'm going to also take this as an opportunity to do a little deep dive into the world of fish cake. Now, a common question that gets asked by people experiencing ramen for the first time when they see these little swirly white and pink discs is, what are they? These specific ones with the pink swirl in the middle are called Narutomaki, but there are other Japanese fish cakes out there called kamaboko, which are pink along the top. And it's the same exact flavor, it's just a different aesthetic. The pink parts are just food coloring. Japanese fish cakes are a type of surimi, which is what you get when you turn fish into a paste with some binding ingredients and mold it into a shape. Imitation crab sticks are also a type of surimi, if you've had those. In this specific case, these little fish cakes from Ramen Bae are made from pollock, wheat starch, potato starch, and salt. Now, if you have a really good Asian market near you with a frozen section, you will most likely find the full-size Narutomaki tubes like this one for about $5 to $6 US. And as you can see, I've already used quite a bit of this. I always have one on hand. You just slice what you want and put it back in the freezer, and it basically thaws in your broth immediately. Pretty easy, right? And in case you're looking for this specific one, the name of the manufacturer is Wismatak, so check your local Asian grocery store if this is what you want. But what if you're nowhere near an Asian grocery store? You can't really order a frozen stick of Narutomaki online. Or even more infuriating, what if you have an Asian grocery store nearby that has a lousy selection and they don't carry this? Well, if you're in either one of those boats and you crave Narutomaki, Ramen Bae has come to your rescue. Seriously, I think this might be the only product like this. This 3-ounce bag costs $9.99 plus shipping, which is kind of high, but remember that the original weight of this bag is higher before dehydration. I'm not saying $10 is necessarily a great price for this, but this bag has some advantages. It's shelf stable, it's really convenient, and a little of it will go a long way. So it's like a Narutomaki investment over time. And you may be asking yourself at this point in the video, hey Noodle Guy, if you already have a tube of Narutomaki, why did you buy this? I did it for a few reasons. Some of you may not have known that this exists. Some of you may not know what fish cakes are or what they taste like. And some of you may know about this and love fish cakes, but were waiting for a guy on YouTube who talks too much to review them. So if you're any one of those three cases, here I am. Now, I already know from Ramen Bae's other products what these taste like, but I want to show you a proper review of what they look like all plumped up alongside a few full-size slices from this tube. And for this review, I'm going to toss both of these into one of my current favorite seafood varieties, Samyang's Nagasaki Jambong. If you haven't checked out my review of this and you love the idea of a medium spice creamy seafood soup, watch that video, episode 131, to see if this appeals to you. I think it's seriously good. This is one of my current favorites right now. But it only comes with squid chips, and it could definitely be spruced up with fish cakes. And even though these are Japanese fish cakes, and the jambong is technically a Korean-Japanese fusion recipe, these will absolutely work together. Now, the fish cakes need 3 minutes in boiling water to rehydrate, so I will go cook the jambong, I will add a scoop of Ramen Bae, and a couple slices of the frozen fish cake, and I will show you what you get. All right, and here we are. This is dressed up with both the Ramen Bae and with a full-size frozen Narutomaki. Now, if you're going for presentation, obviously these little Ramen Bae bits probably won't cut it for you. You do need to buy the frozen tube because look, these are prettier, the colors are bolder. But if you're cooking for yourself and you couldn't give a damn about what anyone thinks of your presentation, shout out to the Shitty Ramen subreddit, then Ramen Bae is going to work just fine instead. What's in here is about 1 heaping tablespoon of Ramen Bae, which is absolutely more than I would normally use, but you know, it's a product review and all. And as you can see, I have plenty left in the bag, and I also have plenty in my broth. So let me do a quick taste of a Ramen Bae fish cake and the real fish cake and see if there's any noticeable difference. Alright, so spoiler alert, they taste exactly the same. Now, let me go a little more in depth with that, because another common question from people who don't know what Narutomaki is what does it taste like? Because it's made from the same stuff, it is very close to an imitation crab stick in flavor, but with a more supple texture. And you can see that supple texture hopefully a little better holding one of these big slices here. You see it just falls down the side of my chopsticks a little bit. It's a very mild fish flavor, delicate, sweet, not remotely overpowering, and it enhances your ramen bowl rather than taking it over the way a more fish-forward garnish might. It adds a very subtle hint of fishy sweetness rather than decimating your broth with a strong fish flavor. So these cakes from Ramen Bae do taste pretty identical to the frozen one, and even have the same texture. Now the difference is the thickness. You can control the thickness of the big one by slicing it however you want. I tried to keep this about the same thickness as the Ramen Bae. And as I'm also going to show you, the Ramen Bae did plump up pretty nicely. And in fact, you can even see it side by side. Here's what it looks like out of the bag, and here's what it looks like cooked. So maybe a 10% increase in size. And because of that additional plumpness, remember that you are getting more volume out of these than you might expect due to the cooking process. So now for an overall score. The Ramen Bae fish cakes taste great, they rehydrate perfectly, and they are super convenient. It's a lot easier to put this in here than it is to slice this up. So all in all, they do work just as well as the frozen Narutomaki tube, with the exception of the presentation and the size. I would score Ramen Bae at a perfect 10, if not for the $10 price point. I think getting this pack down, only a couple bucks, in the neighborhood of like $7.99, would make me feel much better about recommending it. But even so, I'm not that mad at the $10 considering what a unique and useful product this is. So let's call it a 9.5 out of 10 as an overall score. So there we go, folks. I hope you learned something new about fish cakes today, and if you've been wanting to jazz up your noodles with Narutomaki, but you can't find any for sale nearby, you should get this. Pair it with a Ramen Bae veggie mix to reach free shipping on their website, and you get the best of both worlds, fish cakes and vegetables. After the dried egg debacle and the spicy garlic mix that I vowed to never speak of again, I am happy to see that Ramen Bae has another solid product on their hands. That's all for now. I'm going to enjoy some of this jambong for lunch. If you do end up trying Ramen Bae's Japanese fish cake, or you have any questions, leave me some comments. We can chat about it. There's more noodle reviews coming, as always, so I hope to see you next time on Noodle Journey.